What's going on? This is Mike Brown. I'm an artist, podcast host, musician, substitute teacher, mentor, and I'm making this video for Can I Be Vulnerable because I feel like it's so necessary for us as Black men to be vulnerable. I feel like that wasn't something that was taught to me. So, you know, through my life and my experiences, I've grown to become this. I don't feel good all the time. And I feel like I go through depression pretty frequent. And I don't share that with many people because, you know, a lot of people see me and when they're around me, they take in my energy and they feel good around me, but, you know, I don't always feel that way.
Right.
And I'm not too sure why I don't show it. You know, sometimes when I'm in it, I'm so deep in it that I don't even recognize it. Like, for example, last week, I was depressed.
Right.
And I didn't know how to tell anybody that because I was in it.
Well, what does depression look like?
For me, it looks like not wanting to go anywhere, not wanting to be around people,
Right.
laying in bed all day, just not really taking care of myself. You know, I feel like I try to combat that by, I have a daily routine of things that I do.
Right.
You know, I write every morning just to write how I feel and try to really look at just where I'm at and kind of dictate where I'm gonna go for the rest of the day. But sometimes even that doesn't work, you know? And I recognize that I really rely on people that I trust a lot emotionally.
Right.
And something about that didn't really feel good to me.
Relying on other people.
Yeah, just because, you know, it's a lot to throw all your, I mean, like I said, I get it done to me all day. Like, people open up all day,
Right.
and I'm okay with that. You know, I can take it in, but sometimes I don't really know how to give it out. And then to the people that I do give it out to, it's like I just unload on them because I feel so comfortable with them,
Right.
which led me to feeling like it's time for me to get back into therapy.
Right.
You know,
How long has it been since you last went?
it's probably been about a year. Okay. So I started the podcast because therapy was getting too expensive for me. You know, so I needed somebody to still talk to.
Right.
So I was just like, you know, let me put it out here and fuck how it makes other people feel. It's about how it makes me feel. And it could also be, you know, I haven't been podcasting as much as we were because, you know, life has just been busy.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe it's time for me to get back into that as well.
Right.
But yeah, I've definitely been feeling that quite a bit.
The Art of Letting Go podcast. So you just said it started from, because therapy is goddamn expensive, and that's true. Was that helping?
Absolutely. You know, at that time, I was really trying to work through a whole lot of things. So it was a lot of letting go. Right now, I don't really feel in a place of letting go. So I guess the podcast wasn't all the way speaking to where I'm at today. And it's cool because my co-host, you know, we talked about this, and, you know, I think one of my biggest fears has been doing things alone. So going back to fear,
Right.
there aren't many things that I've done alone. I've always like hid behind someone else or worked on the side of someone else. And I really feel like it's time for me to try out my journey by myself. And, you know, he definitely was like very supportive of it. So, you know, next month I'm gonna start focusing on my own podcast. And
You
know,
guys are still gonna do the Art of
yeah,
Letting Go?
still gonna do the Art of Letting Go. And I'm also do my own thing just to experience that and see how that feels.
Yeah.
I would say probably since, you know, I guess third grade was really like my experience of life to just explore me. Like I said, I was recording at that time. I think that was when I first started noticing that I was attracted to guys.
Right.
But because I was masculine, quote unquote masculine, and an athlete, 'cause I played basketball pretty much my whole life. So having those two things made me feel like I didn't think I was gay. My only example of a gay man was somebody I saw on TV,
Right.
Wayman from Love Don't Cost a Thing, or
Nah, that's
you know, not Love Don't Cost a Thing, yeah, Low Down Dirty Shame, yeah, or In Living Color, hated it.
Yeah.
That's not me, you know what I mean? So for a long time, I lived in denial, but I think I first started exploring, like, being intimate with men, maybe in college. And still at that time, I still just was.
Because coming from an athlete world, man, there's no.
And coming from the South, I'm from Houston.
Oh shit.
You know, so.
South, being an athlete, there's no space for any of that.
And I grew up with my father. You know what I mean? So none of this made sense to me. Like, you know, I didn't come out till I moved to Los Angeles because I met guys that were like me, and it was like, oh fuck. Okay. You know, I had to accept this. And, you know, and I never had an attraction to a woman or anything, but I always told myself I was really fucked up. But I thought I could pray the gay away. I thought, you know, this is a phase, and it never was something that I could shake, you know. And I think in 2012, right before I came out, I went through a very deep depression for like months, and I wasn't talking to any of my friends or nothing. I remember seeing my best friend at a party, and he said, man, I'm concerned about you. Like, I haven't talked to you, I haven't seen you, like, what's going on? And I just didn't know how to say it. And then there was one day I just kind of broke down at home by myself, and I called my sister and I told her, and you know, we cried and shit, and we got through it. And that same best friend, I opened up to him about it after my sister. Right. And we talked about it. Like, he was in shock at first, but he was still there. Right. He was just like, man, like, regardless, like, you my brother, right. You know. But he was like, but I do think you need to talk to somebody. Yeah. So I started going to therapy. Yeah. Shit. And it's been a journey. Like, I really feel like I've been reborn, man, trying to figure out who I am. Right. You know, because I know who I was taught to think I was. Right. So now it's on me to figure out, who is Mike Brown? Who is this person? Right. You know what I mean? Because I'm not defined by anything any box that they try to put me in. That's not who I am.
Right. So how was that with your family? Like, to you to have you? I don't know if you
Yeah. My dad initially, he had a hard time with it because he just didn't understand. Yeah. Right. Like, you know, he grew up in a totally different era. So for him, it's just like, and he told me, he was like, you know, because I used to be a fighter growing up. Yeah. So he used to be like, man, I've always just seen you so tough, so it don't really make sense to me. You know, like, that's his perception, just like I said, my perception. Right. And now we're in a really good place. Like, he's met my boyfriend and is really close to him. So, you know, to see him go from not understanding at all to that, like, you know, I see growth within my whole family, my friends. Like, my friends are overprotective of me, you know, especially with that. So, like, you know, it's really cool. And the thing is, it kind of let me know where I stand with everybody. It's like, okay, this is who I am. So either you're gonna fuck with me or you're not. And I'm okay with that, because regardless of what you think that label means, I'm still the same nigga. Right. So, you know, you have to deal with the consequences if you think, you know what I mean? But I've never had to experience that, thankfully. My message to the people would be to be yourself, love yourself, and to just keep pushing, keep setting goals and keep chasing them, and whatever you want out of this life, know that you're gonna get it. Keep going. Peace.